3, 2,
Good day
1.
everyone. Welcome to Sir Fox Learning Channel. Happy New Learning Year. For today's video, pag-aaralan po natin Week 6, General Physics 1, Quarter 2, Fluid Mechanics. Pero pag-aaralan po natin Part 1 about po sa density. So basic lang po ito. Kaya panoorin mo ang video ito, baka makatulong po sa iyo. At kung bago ka sa channel ni Sir Fox, huwag mong kalimutang mag-subscribe at notification bell on para patuloy pa rin po tayo may matututunan at maging updated ka sa mga susunod na video lesson ni Sir Fox. Happy New Learning Year!
Sir Fox Learning Channel learners, for today's lesson, we will tackle Week 6 for General Physics 1, Fluid Mechanics. Our most essential learning competencies here, which is MELC 24 to 29. First is to relate density, specific gravity, mass, and volume to each other. Relate pressure to area and force. Relate pressure to fluid density and depth. And apply Pascal's principles in analyzing fluid in various systems. And then apply the concept of buoyancy and Archimedes principles. And apply Bernoulli's principles and continuity equation whenever appropriate to infer relations involving pressure, elevation, speed, and flux. At this point, when we speak about fluid mechanics, it is a branch of physics concerned with the mechanics of fluid and the forces, which include mechanical, civil, chemical, and biomedical engineering, geophysics, oceanography, meteorology, astrophysics, and biology. But preferably, our focus in this video is just mechanics of fluid. That's why our main target for these video lessons, so this will be a part 1 of our video lessons in fluid mechanics, is density, specific gravity, mass, volume, pressure to area, and force, Pascal's principles in analyzing fluid in various systems, buoyancy and Archimedes principles, and Bernoulli's principles, and continuity equation. So our first part of this fluid mechanics, we will talk about the density. The density is the degree of consistency measured by the quantity mass per unit volume. So degree of consistency, which is measured by quantity mass per unit volume, mathematically expressed as rho is equals to mass over volume, where this symbol rho by Greek word rho is the density, m is mass, v is velocity. And the unit measures of density for solid, you could use grams per cubic centimeters. For liquid, grams per ml. Okay? Now, let us have examples and exercises. So we have 4 problems here to solve. The first one is to calculate the density in grams per ml of 30 ml of solution that weighs 120 grams. So for number 1, our given is the mass is 120 grams, the volume is 30 ml. So by using the mathematical expression of density, rho, or density is equal to mass over volume by substitution, that is 120 grams over 30 ml, and that is equal to 4 grams per ml. That's your density of 30 ml solution which weighs 120 grams. Okay? That's for number 1. Number 2, calculate the density. Calculate the density in grams per ml again of 0.4 liters of solution weighing 150 grams. For number 2 given, we have 150 grams for mass and 0.4 liters for volume, which we will convert this into ml. 0.4 liters, for every 1 liter you have 1000 ml. 0.4 times 1000 is 400 ml. Are you following? And then by substitution from our mathematical expression of density, mass over volume, so you have 150 grams over 400 ml is equal to 0.38 grams per ml. Alright? So that is how to determine the density of an object. Later on, we will analyze why is it important for us to know the density of an object. In continuation of our discussion for fluid mechanics, this will be our part 2. We will determine the relationship of mass, weight, volume, and specific gravity. Density and specific gravity. So, bakit na-involve dito si weight? Sometimes kasi na pag kakamalan na si mass and weight is just the same, but scientifically, mass and weight are different. Alamin po natin bakit nga ba sila different in this video lesson. To start with, let us define what is mass. A mass is the measure of the amount of matter. Take note for that, measure of the amount of matter. It is approximately the measure of the number of atoms in a given object. Okay? It is also the measure of an object's resistance to gravity, and it is measured in kilogram, in SI unit measurement. However, weight in physics, that is a force that is caused by the gravitational pull of the Earth toward its surface. So weight is not just the amount of matter, but it is a force that caused by gravitational pull of Earth. If that object is in Earth, pero if that object is in other space like Moon, like Mars, it is caused by gravitational pull either where that object is. Okay? Since we are here in Earth, gravitational pull of Earth affect weight or force which is caused by the effect of gravitational pull of the Earth, since we are here in Earth. And it is measured by Newton in standard unit measurement sa SI. Yun nga, madalas nga na pagkakamalan na parehas lang po sila, pero itong dalawa is different. Take note, mass and weight is different. I have a question here. For example, you have 1 sack of rice and 1 sack of cotton. Para sila isang sako. Now, in terms of mass and in terms of weight, how these 2 sacks of objects, 1 sack of rice and 1 sack of cotton, differs. First, in terms of mass, they are equal because the measure of the amount of matter is the same, 1 sack of cotton and 1 sack of rice. They are equal in terms of mass. But in terms of the force caused by the gravitational pull of the Earth, is different. Diba? Mas heavier yung 1 sack of rice over 1 sack of cotton. So that's a basic example why mass and weight is different. Okay? Now, For instance, volume is a measure of the amount of three-dimensional space that is being occupied by liquid, solid, or gas. So, volume, the measure of the amount of three-dimensional space measured in cubic meter or ml. Density refers to the measurements of how compact an object is. So later on, we will determine the relationships of this. And the specific gravity is the direct relationship with density. It is the ratio of an object's density and its contact substance. For example, if you want to place an object in water, the specific gravity would tell you if it will float or not. So, specific gravity is significant, lalo na in our place, madalas binabaha. So, by determining the specific gravity of an object, we can determine if that certain matter will sink or not. So, ano nga ba yung relationship ni mass, volume, and density? This is density, symbolizes by rho, Greek word rho. This is mass, symbolizes by m, and volume symbolizes by v. If you will notice here, the density is directly proportional to mass, which means once you increase the mass, the density also will increase. Why? Because density is directly proportional to mass, but inversely proportional to volume, which means once the volume increases, probably the density will decrease, or vice versa. Once the density increases, the volume decreases. But here, for the relationship of density and mass, once you increase the mass, the density will increase. You increase the density, the mass will increase. Or you decrease the mass, the density will decrease. But for volume, since inverse yung relationship ni density and volume, opposite yung mangyayari sa kanilang dalawa. Okay?